Hey guys, welcome back to Making It, Chef's Kiss. We're here in Connecticut at the Shipwright's Daughter restaurant. We're here with Chef David Standridge. Maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't. James Beard, you just won, was it last year? James Beard.
2024. Yep.
2024. Yep. Best chef of Northeast.
Yep. Congratulations
on that, man. Well deserved. One of my favorite restaurants to come to in town. Chef, thanks for having us,
Absolutely.
man. Pretty stoked to be cooking or showing us one of my favorite things on your menu. And just a local favorite around here is the MONKFIsh Mortadella. Tell me a little bit about it. What are we doing?
So we're gonna do the MONKFIsh Mortadella. That's one of my favorite dishes on the menu. You know, basically we take those kind of the scraps from the monkfish, anything that we're not using, and we make it into this beautiful charcuterie product. It's an emulsified sausage, just like regular mortadella, made with monkfish, and delicious.
Heck yeah. All right, so let's talk through it real quick, man. Cool. I mean, I love mortadella, classically pork, emulsified pork sausage. Yeah. It's one of my favorite things when done well. And the idea, the first time I saw it on the menu here, just monkfish, mortadella, monkfish being gnarly fish, you know, looks like a sea monster, but delicious. What made you want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to try to do things in different ways and introduce different species of fish into people's diets. Try to diversify like what we're eating out of the ocean.
Can't just eat tuna and salmon, right?
Yeah, they'll run out. So monkfish is one of our favorites. I love that it's got like a lot of sweetness. It's like kind of lobstery. It's dense.
It's one of those fish where you almost like swordfish. Like you almost kind of need to overcook it a little bit. Like it's very forgiving to cook. Yeah, you can kind of hammer it.
It can take a lot of flavor. Like swordfish, I always think of it as like the pork of the sea. Honestly, like this works great with swordfish also.
I see you have a little pork fat there. It's a mix.
So yeah, it's the golden ratio for emulsified sausages. 3 parts lean, 2 parts fat, 1 part ice.
Okay.
That's basically like for any kind of mortadella emulsified sausage, that's the ratio. So basically we're gonna marinate this quickly. We're gonna grind the pork as well. And then it goes in the RoboCoupe with the ice. The first part is the lean and the ice. And then we add the ground fat and emulsify that in. And then we'll roll it in plastic, poach it, chill it, slice it, eat it.
All right, so basically, I mean, do a little thing, a little respect to the ingredients. I like to give a little shout out to everything that we're putting into the dish on this show. And I mean, the star we got right here. I mean, the mighty monkfish. I mean, the head removed, but the head on this thing, I mean, it's all mouth.
Yeah, it's like 80% head. A little kosher salt, ground coriander, ground white pepper, pistachios. It's a little parsley pesto. We got 1 fresh bay leaf.
Love that.
And we got a little pink salt, number 1. Curing salt, and just a little chopped garlic, a little bit of white wine. I think that might be a Gruner Veltliner. Some pork back fat, and then we have some diced blanched pork fat.
So cool. What's the first step of the process here?
So the first thing we're going to do is marinate the monkfish. So this is the diced monkfish, about 1 pound, and we're going to add to that about 2 tablespoons of white wine, a little bit of garlic, about 4 grams of white pepper.
Grams?
Grams. Same on the coriander, about 4 grams coriander, 20 grams of salt. That's kosher salt, and about 3 grams of the pink salt, number 1. And then we're just gonna mince this bay leaf. I like to use fresh bay leaves.
Me too. It's such an underrated aroma. I don't want to say it's underrated. It's in a lot of recipes and in cuisines around the world. But I feel like it's gotten a bad reputation.
Yes, people say they're poisonous. They're not poisonous.
No, and they're more the merrier.
Yeah.
And the smell of a fresh one, you crush it up. It's almost like orange sherbet.
Yeah. I did some research on that because I thought like people were saying they're toxic, but it's actually just because they're sharp and like back in the day 100 years ago they would get throat and people would die. So they're not
that all goes right in there. That's your little marinade.
Yep. So just kind of mix. And then the next step is it goes in the grinder.
So pretty approachable too. I mean, you're doing this on a pretty small scale where someone could. This could be a fun little home project if you wanted to. It sounds so intimidating making something like mortadella, let alone
nothing
monkfish.
We do is hard.
Right.
It's only hard when you have to do like 30 pounds a week.
Sure. Right, when you have a restaurant. Yeah, look at that, huh? I love a good seafood sausage.
Yeah.
You don't see it enough.
Nope.
But what could go wrong mixing something with pork fat?
Exactly. I mean, like, that's a lot of pork fat. So that's the monkfish. So then we're going to grind the pork fat. Same deal.
Now, is this chilled, the pork fat, or frozen?
Everything's chilled. What we usually do is freeze this all now. It doesn't have to be frozen, but the colder the better. When you're emulsifying sausage, like, you want it to be as cold as possible when you put it in the RoboCoupe. The colder it is, the longer you can blend it, and the longer you blend it, the finer it's going to get ground, and it won't break the emulsion.
Heat's the enemy.
Heat's the enemy, yeah.
I love how white the whole sausage is so far, too.
Totally. Yeah, it's a beautiful color. All right, so now we go in the RoboCoupe. So we're gonna add some ice, and basically the ice is just the water, so you need a certain water content to make an emulsion, but the reason why we do ice is to keep it cold.
So the emulsification does want wants water.
Yeah, like emulsion either needs, that's the chemistry of it.
Okay.
Old
RoboCoupe, man, can't beat it.
Can't beat it, workhorse.
And you just let that go until, how do you know when it's?
We usually test it by temperature, but you can just kind of tell when it starts to get smooth, essentially.
Right.
You kind of also can hear like the ice is melting. So we don't want the ice to get too far past melted.
Okay.
You know, once it's all the way, the ice is out and it's ground.
So you can go too far.
You can go too far if it gets hot.
Right.
Because if it gets hot and then you add this, it's not going to emulsify
The
right.
friction of it alone just starts warming things up.
Exactly, yeah. And then the color, you know, it's nice and smooth.
Oh, wow.
It's a little bit white.
It's like a whipped lardo almost.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to get more whipped when we add the pork fat.
And what, sorry, that was the fish with half the fat?
No fat.
No fat yet, right, okay.
That's just fish and ice.
Okay, right.
And then all the fat's here. And then we'll add the pork fat. So a nice smooth base, like a farce we'd call it.
Yep.
And then add the fat and emulsify that in. You're also grinding it, you know, at the same time.
And same thing, indicator on this. I'm sure temperature is certainly a thing.
Yeah, ideally, like if
You're running on intuition now? Or?
That's how I work anyway.
Yeah.
But generally, like if you really want to be scientific about it, you should go to 45 degrees is where you want to stop.
Okay. Oh, that looks kind of good too.
So you can see like it got whiter, it's creamy, looks kind of nice.
Put that right on some bread.
Just smear right on
Yeah.
there. Go raw. 120 grams of pistachios.
Why do you need the curing salt in this?
The curing salt, just a preservative, honestly. Shelf life. And for stuff that's like pork colored, it makes it pink also.
Right.
A little bit. It preserves the color. In
Right.
this, you don't have to worry about the color because it's all white. I don't know. When it comes to stuff like this, I'm like safety first.
Sure.
You know, I don't want anyone to get sick.
I'm starting to see the mortadella, the
Yeah.
pork fat and the pistachios, man, really make it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah. So that's that.
And then from there straight into the forming.
Yeah. So we're just gonna roll it. You could do it in a beef kit. The flavor though from
It's like
those
a
I think is
dessert
weird.
chef.
Is it?
Yeah, it
it
looks like
does.
you're making like a yeah,
Tironi.
pavlova or something.
Looks like Tironi to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Roll. So
Cool.
yeah, pretty tight roll in this. We're gonna roll it a couple times.
Well, I
First-
like that. So what's that help you do? Tighten it up?
Yeah, the first one is just to like get it in there, and then we'll do a couple more to make sure it's all the
like
way
this.
watertight.
Because we're cooking it in a water bath.
Yeah, so we don't want any water to get in there.
No.
That would be bad. So that's just pretty tight.
So water out, that's the name of the game here.
Yep, absolutely. And you want to make this tight just because this is what makes like the final consistency. If it's not tight enough, there's gonna be like gaps in it, little bubbles, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So we're rolling it like this, and I'm holding the ends to twist it, and that gets a lot tighter.
Sure.
Then I'm gonna tie knots.
Oh, I like the little hip
The little hip thing there, that's my own move. That's patented. We'll roll this one nice.
Yeah,
and tight.
nice and firm.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, so it should be like real tight. Here we go.
Wow, that's a beautiful thing right there.
Yeah, looks great, right?
You ever make like a big old hog?
Yeah, well actually this one not so much. When we roll like the pig's heads, it's like this long.
Jeez, yeah.
This is ready to go. It can go right in the bath. It's about an hour. We wanted to get to about 150. But the temperature is based on the pork. So fish you could cook lower,
Okay.
but there's pork
Pig
in it.
being
so-
the lowest common denominator
exactly.
of food safety.
Yeah,
there.
like if we somehow use fish fat, you could take this out at 140.
Okay,
But,
so you got to hit the big
yeah,
numbers.
the pig numbers.
And when we're
150.
cooking in a water bath like we're doing, right? Like you mentioned, it's got to hit a certain temperature. It's
Yeah.
basically just like the pasteurization. It's all numbers and time.
Exactly.
Right? And it's all online. You can
Yeah.
find that stuff.
Totally. And this is the water bath's 170 degrees, and we're gonna go
Like a sous vide.
exactly. So if you don't need a special license.
Do you have to like keep it weighted or put a little?
Yeah, I usually put a towel on top just to keep the top wet so it cooks evenly. That's it.
Oh wow. Yeah, cool.
Just
Good
hold it
little
in there.
tip there.
Just keeps the temperature good on top.
Oh wow, that's a good little tip.
Yep. Tip or sometimes a perforated pan, and that's
And you let that go. How long does that usually take?
about an hour.
Oh, about an hour. That's it.
Yep. Hour, 2 hours maybe.
Man,
Yeah, it's not hard. They throw it in the fridge.
demystified. That's awesome. I feel a lot more inspired and approachable to making something like that.
Yeah, it's
made
really
that look
not
kind of easy, chef.
It is easy.
All right, Dave. So we're back, man. We had
Yep.
a nice little swap here. You did
Yep.
this one, cooked it ahead. You said
Yep.
hit your temperatures about an hour,
And then just chill it overnight. We put it in an ice bath, cool it down fast. That's probably the best way to
but
do
you
it.
want to get it cold all the way through.
All the way cold, or it just won't slice right. If it's
Right.
not all the way cold, it's too warm, breaks up a little
and then
bit.
you're good to go.
Good to go. We can just kind of pop this open and just cut the end off.
What are you gonna do with that?
You want to eat it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Give me about 25 of them. Ooh, nice little soft bread, a little mustard. I'd make a sandwich.
Yeah, I think you could do a sandwich with this.
You could 1,000% do a sandwich.
When we do next door, we're gonna have more sandwichy stuff.
Can you please do that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, you know, this is what it looks like.
Oh,
Get
that's
the nice cross
inappropriate.
section there. Get a little dice of pork. Get the pistachios.
Nice texture,
Yeah,
man.
it works. It's just like regular mortadella.
Oh, it's so good too.
And then basically, you know, we just slice it on a deli slicer, pretty thin, and you get these guys.
Oh, the texture.
Yeah.
How do you serve this in the restaurant?
Yep.
What's the
So
dish?
this is our sourdough bread that we make here.
Beautiful.
We just do a mortadella toast. It's a nice little snack. do it on happy hour.
Less is more, man.
I know.
You want to taste this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do like a nice thick piece of toast. Just gonna hit this with a little, this is a pistachio parsley pesto.
Like full-on Parmesan, the classic?
No cheese. I never put cheese in my pesto. I don't know. Maybe
Never do.
Never.
So you're just doing a nice little roll-up.
Yep, and little rolls. Stack them up.
That looks awesome, man. Do you finish it with anything on top, or?
Little olive oil.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Perfect. That's the dish, bud. Thanks for walking me through it. Heck yeah, let's try this thing, please. Let's cut it, share it. I mean,
Yeah, you want to cut it?
yeah. Oh, that's it.
There we go.
Yeah, I like that.
Cheers.
Thanks, man. Oh my God.
It's good.
They're real good. It's crazy how not unfishy it is.
I mean, fish should really never be fishy. The term fishy is always like some negative. Usually to me, it's always like old fish is what people are talking about.
Improperly treated fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blood-filled fish.
Yep.
This is so clean and delicious. On the bread with the pesto, less is more. Not that this is lacking anything, but like it's perfect, man.
Thanks.
Heck yeah. Could see why it's a popular one.
Be on the menu forever.
As it should be. Oh my God, it's so good. All right, Dave, man. Thank you again for sharing your recipe, showing me how to make some monkfish mortadella. Something I want to try cooking at home. Just the idea of cold emulsified sausages and including seafood, especially things like outside of your wheelhouse. So, just monkfish being a really cool ingredient. But thank you again, man. If you find yourself in Mystic, Connecticut, come check out Dave here at Shipwright's Daughter, and be sure to order the monkfish mortadella, man. It's I don't want to grab it with my hand. Monkfish mortadella with the pesto. You can't go wrong. Thanks again, man. Anything you want to? You said you got another restaurant coming soon?
Yeah, we're gonna open up Mystic Fish Camp and hopefully in June.
Hopefully
It'll
in
be like
June.
a new take sustainable fish fry.
Yeah. What was it called again?
Mystic Fish Camp.
Mystic Fish Camp coming soon. Check it out. The mortadella gonna be on the menu.
It'll be on there somewhere.
Heck yeah. Check it out, guys. Thank you, and tune in next time for Making It Chef's Kiss. Dave, thanks again, man.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to bring that home. Let's wrap that up to go, and